Right. Hello. How is everybody doing? How's things? How's life? How's yours? How has your week been? Hello to John watching on the VOD. I hope your week is well. Hope your HTPC build goes okay. And the motherboard is alright. Yeah. How's everybody doing? How's teams? Yeah, wonderful. Hello. What have I been up to? Oh, I have a sponsor video coming up for the first time in a while. But it's actually a sponsored giveaway as well. With an entire PC, a game server. Hello, no copyright, and hello, Simon. How you guys doing? How's things? And hello, Australian Simon. How you doing? How's things? Why's there no chat on screen? Don't tell me it's broken again. Damn. Is there like a restart? No? Okay, well, I tried. Fingers crossed it picks it up in a second, but if it hasn't picked it up now, it's probably not gonna pick it up. I tried. Okay. Hey, there we go. It's back. Huzzah. Wonderful. See, Simon fixed it. Thank you, Simon. I actually wonder if it was because the YouTube stream isn't like scheduled to start until 8 p.m. and it's only just turned 8 p.m. I wonder if that's why it's like kicked on now. I don't know. That's me entirely guessing a completely like black box system, but that's my guess. Right. Are we ready? I have a big question. You can give it a try. No promises. Okay. What's your opinion of buying a TCL TV from China? The TCL Q10L 65 inch is equivalent to the QM 8K USA and C8K EU, with around 350 US cut off. I want to know, does it support Google AI? I have heard that this TV works with DeepSeek, and can we install Netflix on it like the TVs from EU, US? Does it fully support English? I've heard that there are submenus that will be in Chinese. Right. Well, I want to clarify that I have never owned, although have operated TCL TVs in the past. I have never bought one from China or had one delivered from China, so I have no first-hand experience to base this off of. Uh, TVs are generally more region locked than other devices, potentially. Um, yeah, definitely no warranty. But they um da, 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 uh I would not be surprised to find out that there is a China-only version of the operating system that does not support things like Google, uh, potentially things like English info. That does not surprise me. I wouldn't be overly surprised to hear that it is just a region setting, because it is more effort to make two different versions of the operating system. But, yeah, in Libya we don't have warranty anyway. Fair enough. TVs are a much more locked down black box than, say, Android phones tend to be, although even then they tend to be kind of black boxy as well. And can have some region locked features or settings and stuff like that. So if stuff like Google AI, and even potentially like Netflix and English supports is important for you, which I can understand, especially the last two. I don't know that without direct evidence to the contrary, as in a bunch of other people have done the exact thing you're planning on doing and had great success with it. I don't know that I would want to be the one to bite the bullet, because you're not going to be able to return it, and if it's a brick for you, yeah. Linus bought a 100-inch TCL TV and it was locked to Chinese. Not that surprised. Hello, Be Right. How you doing, man? How's things? Good to have you. Um, but yeah, you can Google Translate on your phone. Well, yes, but if it's locked to Chinese and to the Chinese rules, stuff like Netflix ain't allowed, you know? So, yeah, that's the sure you might be able to navigate around the menu system, but the one thing to potentially consider is what I do with my TV anyway, because I have a smart TV, Hisense. However, I do not use the TV as anything other than a dumb TV. So I personally just have the last generation of Chromecast before it turned Google TV, the Google TV slash Chromecast dongle, like the last one. I use a dongle. I used to use a Roku, now I use the Chromecast T Google TV one, and but there are lots of third-party options that use Android or Google TV, that will have all of the settings you want. They're not that expensive. They're well under the 350 USD that you'd be saving, assuming that the panel is something that you really care for and you couldn't find a similar or better quality panel for the same money as the imported version. I'd buy the panel you want and put whatever box you want next to it, because that gives you a lot more flexibility in what you end up buying and using and upgrading. Because like I really hate the idea of like, if the panel is still working but you now can't get security updates for the built-in chip on the back of the TV, and it won't let you then connect to the internet anymore. You've now essentially got a brick TV unless you go and buy another box. But if you've had the box the whole time, if that thing gives up the ghost, you just swap the box to a newer version and it's fine. And then it's a lot smaller of a thing to be thrown away, you know? Um, I don't like waste. I don't like inefficiency and throwing away an entire TV in 3 to 5 years time just because the processor on the back doesn't get security updates anymore, um, or whatever, or app updates. Um, Drives me mad. Right to repair. Hello Ish. How you doing, man? How's things? When I haven't watched a YouTube live stream in a little while, when you join the chat, can you read the whole message history, or is it like Twitch where it's just whatever you load in on is what's there? Like Ish, you can, I guess by the fact that you can see um and say hello to the people in the chat, that you've been able to read the chat history a bit. Just made sauerkraut and hot dog toast sarnies with catsup and American sauce. Nice. Sorry, I'm twiddling a T-handle Allen key that I use to assemble my tools. I think there's a cut off. Depends how long it is. Live chat reaches back to John, so all the way. Nice. I am technically on top chat. That's what it loads in on by default. I should probably change it, but I can't be bothered right now. Yeah. Status report. Um, Not great. Uh, I know that's the most common answer I give. Um, but I've been in a lot of pain. It's been really tough. Uh, I'm kind of struggling to keep up with a lot of things. The new version of the tool has been sat in this state for 1 or 2 weeks now, which I appreciate is not an awfully long time, but like I've had most of the case that puts this board on the back of this sat on the 3D printer that just needs to be taken off, and I've not had the energy, the executive function, or the willing body to do it, and that's frustrating. Uh, so yeah, um, honestly, I'd say a bit worse than usual, I'm afraid. Can you order some enthusiasm off of Amazon? Maybe more Colombian energy needed. uh, Unfortunately, I don't think so. I think that's a it's not available on Prime. Uh, no, I do have it's next Friday, so you'll see me live stream again before this video goes up. But Amp, who is Cube Coders Mike, who's in our Discord actually, we're doing like a build slash setup guide and giveaway for an entire £700 gaming server. So check that out next Friday, please. Thank you. It's pretty cool. I spent basically all of yesterday editing that video. But yeah, please check it out. Meth is more your match rather than coke. Yes, it is. Although I no longer have any because, sorry, just for context, I have ADHD, and the medication that they give you for ADHD is stimulants because your brain is a weird mix of over and understimulated, and giving more stimulants helps. I can't tell you. But the medications are so what's often called Ritalin. In the UK, that's Concerta XL, and that is methylphenidate, I think, if I remember rightly. Whereas what's known as Adderall in America or Elvance in the UK is Liz, as in long lasting, like slow release, dexamphetamine. With the key part being amphetamine. So we in the ADHD community, aka me and my friends, joke that it's legal meth. Context for this joke and comment statement. But the meth, legal meth, ruined my heart. So I can't take it anymore. So yes, ADHD is very much here to stay. And it's more about working with it, which is very helpful when you are self-employed, because like I really wasn't feeling it today and I managed to work around that fact, and I still got most of what I wanted to do today done, while also not, feeling bad about it. So yeah, opioids are your friend for pain. I'm on lots of them. Pity they lose their effectiveness over time. Yeah, I also used to be on opioids for pain. Didn't fancy getting addicted or having their effectiveness wear off, because inevitably one day I will be in a bicycle or motorcycle crash and I will need the ability to not feel that pain anymore. And so yeah, I was just given a new non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug that I just took my first dose today. Unfortunately, you're basically not allowed to be prescribed it if you have like inflammatory conditions like ulcerative colitis. You know, the thing that I have. So I've been given the lowest possible dose, and I need to monitor to see just how bad it gets. Yeah. Beer and whiskey are my pain friend. Fair. I don't drink for many reasons, one of which is ADHD. Anything that I'm allowed to do, like eat sweets, as an example, safer work example, I becomes a coping strategy, and coping mechanism. So I would just become an alcoholic in an instant, and I don't really fancy that. So I just can't drink at all. Along with the fact that I'm autistic and I don't like it, and my parents are alcoholics, and that kind of put me off of it. I'm not an alcoholic, but I did just buy 3 liters of Jägermeister from Costco. Oh dear. That says something about you, my friend. That's when they change them generally every 12 to 6 months. As in the opioids, because I mean, fair enough. I was just prescribed tramadol and told to get on with it. It's for everyone, not just for me. That's what they all say. Yeah, true. It is. It is Costco. You could only buy 3 liters of Jaeger from there. If you bought 3 liters from Tesco, I'd be a lot more worried. Like, is Jaeger even a 1 liter bottle by default? I've never bought it. I've never drank it, but I didn't think so. 70, yeah. I can't do maths. What's 3 liters divided by 70? 6? God. 5. I answered that too quickly. 4 times 75. Okay. I what is it? Dyslexia, dyspraxia, the one that you can't do maths in your head, because I can't. Whatever it is, I can't. I never have. I've never been able to. I actively dislike Jägermeister. I've heard a lot of people actively dislike it. Well, the thing is, I've heard a lot of people actively dislike alcohol, and I'm not entirely sure why people like drink it, because all I hear are complaints, and yet they keep drinking. So it's like 4 bottles of wine, effectively, only yuckier. I like the wording. I don't drink it like a shot. I add energy drinks and drink it slowly. Fair enough. Good thing. I dislike spirits, and yeah, I must still drink. I am British. Fair. I think ADHD benefits are really good. Like and then you missed it. I know that this might be a translation, English second language thing, but it's really funny that you didn't finish the first half of the sentence, because that's what ADHD people do. You start a sentence, and then the slightest thing distracts you, and then you have no idea what it was you were saying. Ask me how I what? What was it saying? And you can live without the pills means you can live ADHD with ADHD. I have it too. Yes, you certainly can. It requires a level of, let's say, lifestyle adaptation that I was fortunate enough to have forced my way into by becoming self-employed and being able to, especially being able to bounce between things is what really helps me. Like today when I was feeling like crap and didn't want to b-roll the 3000 hertz controller that I've got in, I brought it downstairs and did the latency testing here, because one of the folks that has one of my latency tools regularly tests controllers and has been reporting that especially higher than 1000 hertz controllers weren't reporting, like the tool wasn't reporting any useful data. And so I wanted to test. I finally got a high hertz controller. I wanted to test it, and it works fine, which is good, because it means that like my tool is working as expected. But it's bad because it means that I kind of wanted something to be wrong so that I could find it and just have it fixed. Whereas now there needs to be more discussion, more testing, more trying to work out what is different for their use case than mine, or their like testing methodology or system or hardware or the controller itself. So yeah, it's both sort of nice and frustrating at the same time. But I did that instead of filming, and then I took a little break, and then I was able to film most of what I need for the controller review. And then I can write it tomorrow. Oh, come on, Bailey's Irish cream is great, and I rarely drink alcohol. I don't drink at all, and even I know that, at least in the UK, Bailey's is for Christmas. Good thing you don't have any Squirrels? What was that ish? uh, oh, right. See, the problem with trying to read chat and read references is that you. Sorry, that's really funny. Uh, the problem with trying to read. uh, apologies. Um, the problem with trying to read chat and keeping it, especially with like references, is that the joke has often passed before I get back to read the message. Chicken of the trees. Me is not yok to iPhone. I don't even know what that means. Uh, um, but no, the iPhones, like so okay. I did not watch the event. I saw a few articles and I got the lowdown from an Apple preferring friend. I'm not going to say loving, preferring. Ah, yuck. Nice. I will. Unfortunately, don't remember that. I wish I did, but I won't. Anyway, um, the skinny for the event is that there is now a skinny iPhone, with no useful battery, and what was it? It was the cameras. Guess which one I'm ordering. Is it the skinny one that'll bend in your pocket? uh, hypertension monitoring on the Apple Watch and the new larger front-facing camera on iPhones. That's it. Event hasn't been great. Quote from my friend Dan. I'm thinking about it as my current iPhone is the 12. Nice. The why iPhone? It was probably more Welsh than Newcastle, but keep me balling. um, that's a good one, right? Um, it is nice. What possesses you to buy such a thin, light, and likely flimsy phone? There is no judgment here. Post Tamagotchi trout in Newcastle didn't take off. It will be the only one. As in, that will be the only iPhone Air. So you're pre-ordering it for the rarity? I bet. It's duck here. Or chick, sometimes. But mostly duck. I reckon, yeah, I gotta try it. Fair enough. I so okay. It's been quite a few years since I've even touched an iPhone. And um the thing, like, I think I once was bored and went into an Apple store because it was a shopping center and there was one there. Um, and I picked up one of the iPhones, and it felt hollow and cheap because it's so worryingly light. Like, I know that a lighter phone is technically better, but like my phone, which is almost fully charged, has a nice enough weight to it that I feel, like I'm holding something valuable and useful and premium in my hand. And the iPhone didn't give me that. It was worryingly light, and I cannot imagine the Air is gonna be better. But fair enough if it works for you, if you're interested in it. Fair enough. Not for me. But yeah. You went all Clarkson for a sec then. I mean, I do review cars too. I don't fancy farming them. I would never berate you for your choices. I might just give you a questioning look. I can gaffer tape a battery pack to my iPhone for that premium weight feel. Or you could pay 7 times more and get magnets in it. I'll get the 17 standard as it's only $13.99, where the Samsung Galaxy is around $17.99, and nearly everyone I know upgrades their Samsung phones every 2 years. The standard 17 is a lot of phone for $7.99. I mean, first of all, amazing the price difference, like the number difference UK to Australia. Wow. I mean, I know that that it's 50p to the pound, whatever, but Jesus. And second, fair enough. I mean, uh, I can very much see the appeal of iPhones. I can understand why. It's just, eh. I like customizability. I like true ownership. I like repairability. I like not walled garden ecosystems. I like consumer choice. I can't really get those things with an iPhone, so. And like, at least in not the US, basically everywhere else in the world, we use Signal and WhatsApp and Telegram and what are the other ones? And I guess occasionally Facebook Messenger, but that's mostly just for marketplace. Um, to chat with people rather than through like iMessage. Um, yeah. Half a squiddly D for each dollar I do. Yes, indeedy. I hate the iPhone because if you buy it in my country, your social level will be ranking up 3 levels. But other than that, it will give nothing. I did buy the Vivo X200 Pro. My social level is now copper, but I love it. I mean, fair enough. I am the absolute worst person to ask about social hierarchies and like class and popularity. Those are not things that have ever been used, words have ever been used to describe me. Maybe a class A idiot. um. So yeah. I got the Fold 7 for customizing and foldingness, and Samsung are going the way of Apple and locking and hiding settings. Well, that sucks. I feel like it's an increasingly small corner of the market that is using as close to stock Android as possible. I mean, hell, Google doesn't even really use stock Android because they lock so many features to their Pixel phones. Which, like, I understand why. It's probably a pretty decent market for them, and it's also a captive market that helps them compete with Apple. But it's really annoying that an Android phone could do all of the things, especially like the call screening and stuff like that. That's something that I'd really like to have. That sounds real useful for me because I do get quite a few phone calls. But yeah, having an Android phone does not necessarily mean you get all the features that Android can provide. I got Apple stuff for the things that I want to just work together. PC plus Linux for development, and rid of Windows as soon as Linux gaming was good enough for me. Yeah, fair enough. I'm still somewhat unfortunately stuck on Windows for editing. Basically, is the I mean, Linux gaming is great. It's not perfect, but it's pretty great. Um, al- although saying that, I just tried uh to what was it? During the setup process for the game server, um, I was recommended to use Debian, so I installed the latest version of Debian. But because there wasn't an updated install script for uh, the game server at the moment, at that moment, um, you just run into error after error after error, and like uh, curl and sudo weren't installed by default, so I had to go and install them to be able to. And then there was a few things missing, so it didn't install Docker. But if you follow Docker's install instructions for Debian, it bricks your entire apt like package manager. Um, yeah. So trying to use Linux can be, even now, massive pain in the arse. My old iPod stopped working on my latest car. Had to retire it forever. Bought the car. Um, don't know. I use graphene, so miss out on some Google extras. Definitely not complaining about giving them up. Fair enough. There are only a few things like I said, like call screening that would be really handy. Um, and a bit of the like AI photo editing kind of thing. That would be nice. But I don't care that much about it. I'm not upgrading my phone anytime soon. I might replace the battery. That's about it. Sadly, you will be the new iPhone after the new update. There's no third-party stores, no APKs. I mean, well, first of all, that sucks. Second of all, I have to assume that there'll still be developer mode. And third, I think they'll get sued out of absolute existence if they go that way, because Epic already sued Apple and won. With regards to third-party apps, side loading stuff, and payments. So yeah. Uh, if I can get 45 years out of a phone, then retire as a camera or music for the car is good value. I still have an iPod from 2010, 2011 in my car. Fair enough. I I do tend to get 3, 4, 5 years out of a phone. Although that one, in fact, what? 1 plus 70. 2019. Yeah. So yeah, this is going on 6 years old now. No problems with it. still works fine. Again, could probably do with a new battery. I do have to charge it a fair bit more than I did at the start, but it's still fine. Works great. At one point I had to support HPUX, AIX, Solaris, and SGI IRIX. Linux doesn't scare me after that. Fair enough. It's not that it necessarily scares me, it just drives me absolutely insane. Oh. Ba, 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 ba. I'm just a little sad that Battlefield 6 probably won't work. That too. Do you still dual boot, ish? For the occasional game? GNU Linux Systemd is just a very odd beast with many quirks. It is indeed. Is indeed. A little toasty in here. I'm sure I said. Not showing up. Wonderful. It's definitely cooling off here in the UK. I assume, is it getting warmer down under, Simon? It is 12 degrees in the garden right now. I had a separate computer for Windows. It's been near a year since I switched it on. Praise Gaben and Proton for making Wine work with Steam. Fair enough. That's cool. I don't have the time for tinkering with Linux anymore. I used to mess with it a lot in my 20s, but formatting every other week isn't great nowadays. Yeah. I do hear it's gotten better. They're a lot more guided, or preset up, or they've put some thought into how to install the damn thing. Like drivers and all that sort of stuff. Hello, Mark. How you doing? How's things? I seem to remember the last things we were talking about was Starlink and your Volvo. Are those still relevant things in your life? It's currently 6 degrees, max 12, max 16 today, 21 on Monday. Fair enough. I think we're basically at a similar point. Maybe the UK is like ever so slightly warmer, but we're definitely at that sort of crossing point. And I don't envy you for the next 6 months. To be fair, I'd like to go BSD, and was really hoping they would get a PCIe pass-through like Linux does for Windows VMs. Fair enough. I mean, pray tell why? Because that just sounds like you want to make your life even harder. And as much as I can understand making what seem like ridiculous choices for your own reasons, that's not one that I have the understanding for. Got the Starlink, still good. Fixed my solar inverter on the weekend. I bought a TTRS Mark II last week. Keeping the Volvo too. Getting underbody protection on at the moment. Nürburgring trip soon. Nice. Awesome. Is the TTRS Mark II the Daza engine? The 5-cylinder turbo? Hello, Jim. Every man in the UK will be currently panicking that the thermostat will have to be tuned. Well, fortunately for me, I wrote a smart heating software that does it all for me, including tweaking every radiator. So that's pretty sweet. BSD is a lot more stable, mostly because they don't have 72 different conflicting packages for every task, which is where some Linux issues stem from. Fair enough. That sounds like a bit of a chicken and egg problem, though, because if BSD was popular enough, it would also have 72 different packages. So you're trading temporary sanity for not. But yeah, fair enough. 5-cylinder turbo manual. Yeah, I think that's the Daza. It's the Audi RS3 engine. Interested in the journey with it. Suspension, ECU, Haldex tune, mag ride, upgraded sport exhaust. Nice. I mean, yeah, pretty sweet. I think I'm pretty sure that those Daza engines with just a remap can do 500 horsepower, give or take, and then you put a big turbo, or maybe it's mid to high 400s. But anyway, yeah, nice, fair enough. Hope you enjoy. Once I have my life together, I'd like to go to the Nürburgring, but we're a while away from that. Things just keeping getting more and more complicated. Can I ask your opinion about the Eurostar WTR Max NAS? Wendell did a mini review of it a few weeks ago. You can, but I don't know anything about it. I have not watched that video yet. 6 3.5 bays and 4 M.2 bays. I mean, on the face of it, sounds good. What CPU and how much RAM? Because actually, tomorrow's video is a NAS review that's somewhat similar. It's a Ugreen NAS. Didn't know they made NASes. That has 4 bays and 2 M.2 slots, and it's kind of a great what you call it? Well, it's a great deal for starters, and second, it's kind of and it's got 10 gig networking. It's a pretty decent deal. Bare bones, no RAM, but SODIMM slots. Hold on, let me just Google it. It's $700. Oh, interesting. Okay. I'm in. Sweet. Oh, and SFP as well. Oh, okay. So it has 2.5 gigs and RJ45s that are not RJ45s. I know, shut up. And there is a SFP plus for the 10 gigs, right? So the Ugreen one is RJ45 10 gig and a 2.5 gig. If you care about that sort of thing, maybe have a look. Hold on, please hold. Was it 6bay? Their website shit. Just let me click on the. Okay. The nice thing about the Ugreen one, at least on the face of it anyway, is that you can upgrade the OS to any OS you want, which is pretty nice. 10 gig RJ45s. Yeah, so as as an alternative option to potentially consider, not a solid recommendation, because I've not looked at the other one, the AU Star, and to be fair, especially with no RAM for being just $700 and a much better CPU, and 4 M.2 slots, potentially better. Again, it depends if you care about the networking, because RJ45 10 gig is pretty sweet, and that one has two 10 gig ports. Again, probably doesn't matter unless you're like actively editing off of it or whatever, but yeah. Oh, there's an Oculink port. Huh. Fair. Also bought another NAS, open, never used, for a very good price. Put SSD cache and 32 gig RAM in it. 8 terabyte WD purples. A Synology DS 1821 plus. Maybe my last Synology, as they're going anti-consumer with the software. Yeah, I've also heard that too. And that they were locking their hard drives or their NASs to their own hard drives, which it's horrible because they're not even their own hard drives. Unless WD bought like Toshiba or someone who actually makes drives, or Hitachi. No, WD bought Hitachi's hard drive division. Because Hitachi were the ones to make the HGST drives, like the helium-filled ones, weren't they? Or am I misremembering? I feel like I'm going insane. Going is the wrong word. I feel like I'm presenting my insanity. WD did buy HGST. Yeah. Which are the ones that did, yeah. That one. Which is Hitachi's hard drive division, right? We're not going insane on that front. Especially because they're not making any hard drives, but just putting a sticker on it and adding £100 to the price. Yeah. Yeah. Love when companies do that. We do. Everyone really loves that practice and really wants, you really want you to make them stay with that company and not immediately move off as soon as you can. Wish there were like consequences for companies' bad behavior. HGST made the Death Star drives, as in the what are they called? Velociraptor? That was definitely WD. Also, hello, Essentialist. How you doing? Nice things. Oh, Dexstar. I don't know. I don't know that brand name. Desk Star. It seems to be getting worse, and the courts are allowing it. Yeah. I've got a few HGST pre-WD drives before they trashed their reputation. They did gain the helium drives from HGST though. Yes, and that's what my memory says. We love paywall and subscription models. Yes, really motion wants to make you stay and stick around. Fun times. That's where network hardware is great. It costs a lot more up front, but can last nearly forever. That's true. They are bomb proof. They're originally IBM. Well, I'm pretty sure the H in Hitachi were is the H in HGST was Hitachi. Hold on. HGST. Oh, okay. Yeah. No. Yeah. It was initially a subsidiary of Hitachi, formed through its acquisition of IBM's disk drive business. It was then acquired by Western Digital in 2012. Yeah. There you go. Wow. So HGST has not been Hitachi since I started making YouTube videos. Damn. That was a long time ago. Wow. How's the Audi? It's fine. It's doing good. I did a drifting day the other day. That was at Thruxton. That was really good fun. But yeah, not too much at the world content. I do actually have another scan tool coming, which I'm fine with because the more scan tools I have with the more features, the better. And this one's like a £450 one. So yeah. But yeah, I've just been as I was saying at the start of the stream, my life has really been getting more and more complicated and more overwhelming. So I'm now past the point of being permanently overwhelmed. And it's really difficult to keep up with stuff, and the stuff that isn't absolutely like required or have time pressure is the stuff that falls by the wayside very quickly, when you don't have any other time, effort, or money to keep going. And so yeah, it's very much a not even tertiary venture at the moment. Yeah, I'd love to, but the time investment to review cars is a full-time job in and of itself, and I already have 3 of those. So I need a scan tool for releasing the rear brakes. I'm sick of having to pay a garage to change my brakes. So you don't have to. Are you talking about the Peugeot? The 308? Life is a never-ending grind. True, true. Yes, yes, it is. Uh, you're not dismantling the motor. Well, see, the thing is, it's actually a lot simpler than it sounds, because I did this on my friend's 308 a few months ago. The motor is literally two bolts, and there's just a tiny little spur gear in there. Nothing falls apart. There's no springs. It literally, you take the two, it's either two or three, I think it's two, the two Allen key bolts out the back. The motor comes back. You press or wind, I can't remember which way around it is, the piston back in, and that's it. That's it done. Like, and then you just put the motor back on. It rehomes itself anyway every time you open and close the motor. Like, it was surprisingly simple and did not cause us any problem at all. In fact, slightly poor quality brake pads, like too much paint on the ears. I had to file the paint away a bit, to get them to fit into the shoes. That is like, yeah. I use the 9-volt battery and reverse polarity to undo rear calipers in my Volvo. Fair enough. If it works. Redneck engineering. I don't know, it's pretty cool. It's pretty, it works. If it works, it works. But yeah, in theory, the scan tool that I'm getting that has been shipped today, does every single car brand, has lifetime free updates, no subscription crap, whatever, like the other one has been updated to do. And so yeah, and it's wireless, which is even better. And okay, so I got the email, right, and I get a lot of emails asking me to review stuff. Um, I can't remember who it was because it's on. I can probably check my phone actually. Do I not have that at the wheel? Damn it, I don't have that at the wheel. I can't check. Because if I open Thunderbird, it will make your ears bleed with email notifications. But yeah, I got the email and it said, would you like to review our scan tool? Has lots of features like Candy Crush. What? Basically, it's just an Android tablet that has the data link and the right apps built in. But yeah, their main selling point is that you can play Candy Crush while scanning cars. Oh, it might be topped on. But actually, damn, doesn't appear to be in there. No, I don't know. I'm sorry. Do you have to buy the code books off the manufacturers to decode stuff? Or is that all standardized now? So most scan tools have a lot of pre-programmed stuff, like all of the stuff you would expect to be able to do, all of the special functions and stuff, like resetting service intervals, and a lot of them have like online memory for fancy codes. But yeah, this is in theory in place of needing every different manufacturer's dedicated scan tool or software. VW's Otis, like VAG is Otis, BMW's ISTA, D and P. Yeah. I don't know any generic ones, Mark. I do know that VCDS will be amazing for your TTRS or OBD11. if you want a mobile one. I know, it's amazing. I did notice, but I figured answering some more questions couldn't hurt. Although with that said, to be fair, I think I am gonna call it. I hope you all have a wonderful week. I hope you all stay safe. I hope you all have fun. I am turning to stone day by day. It's a horrifying process. And anyway, yeah. Thanks for watching. Links in the description, all the jazz. And yeah, have fun, stay safe, and I'll see you next week. Bye.